Hello everyone, this is Live Forgive. Today we will talk about Queen upgrades. I'm just logging in. The day just started, so we'll just we'll do the usual ritual. So the way I start the game as soon as I log in is first send and receive subs. It just um, turned. I mean the day changed. So the first thing to do is send and receive subs, and then you go to the main shop, and then you buy something here so that you get VIP points as well as XP for that. And what else? And then I check what's the new cosmetic. Just giving you an overview of what I do as soon as I log in. Today we have like 20 endurance NASA outfit. I'm pretty broke because like I bought so many items from the item shop. It's unreal. Like I can't hold any HXT in my account. It just flies. But I've been making a killing with the number of items I've gathered. You see that? So that's pretty good. So I'm not worried about it. It's just value. So let's say uh, let's say this is a season where people are minting Genesis eggs, and I really want to make sure nobody messes up with the queen upgrades because some of the choices people make when doing a queen upgrade can be detrimental, especially when your queen is like 20 soul or 30 soul. Or it depends. Like it depends on the market. I've seen Genesis Queen at 60, 70 soul. People buy it, but then they don't know how to handle it, and then like they just butcher the stats of the queen. So it's one of the very difficult thing to understand, especially if you're not thinking enough. I will try to break this down. So this is your queen upgrades. The way you get is like you hunt, or you can actually uh, go to shop. Sorry, not here. Shop items, and then you go. So we'll be concentrating on mythic and legendary, and I will explain why. Let's say queen upgrades is the first one. So it's going about 170 a pop. Yeah, 175 a pop. So it is costly, right? Because there is a reason. You don't use it all the time in the first place, and you don't get a lot of these things through hunting as well. It has its reason because for the price, because it is rare to get, and very costly to compete against other bees when you're hunting in an extreme land with queen upgrades. So let's get into the subject. So we go to here to your inventory, and then you choose the queen upgrade, and then you click, and then it says you have five different rarity, and then the first two says like it lowers all stats above 182 by 20%. That should be like, wow. Why would anyone put an item which will reduce your queen's stats, right? The rare does 10%, and it can never go below 182. So the talk in the town is when the game started, it was very difficult to find items. These items were very rare. So people were holding level 10 queen, and it is one of the ways to just upgrade your queen to level 20. So when you breed, you get level 20 breeds instead of 10. And it is also very important that the generation and the level is far more important than the stats. For example, the queen will give you recovery reduction. Say, as soon as a bee goes under, completes a mission, say for example, it completes a hunting mission, it goes on a cooldown based on its recovery stats. What do I mean by recovery stats? So this number right here is 192, right? So you can go check here for this recovery stats, what is recovery and all those things. But what we will do is we will pull up this article. It says Queen upgrade chart, detailed chart. I think this is the one. So this is the chart you want. So irrespective of whatever the level, whatever the stats of your queen, say if I have a Gen 1 queen, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a Gen 1 queen, it will get 15% of cooldown reduction. As simple as that. If your bee is taking 2 hours, that is 120 minutes, that will be reduced, let's say 12 minutes plus 6, like 18 minutes lesser, or faster, I should say. 18 minutes faster than normally it would get back to to the state where you can, the ideal state where you can use that on mission again. So what does this do to your hive? So if you have 10 bees and you send them to harvest and they come back, you have to wait for all these things to come back depending on their recovery stats. But if you have a Gen 1 queen, it is 15%. If you have a Genesis queen, it is 25%. That's huge. What is you are gaining like 30 minutes of your waiting time is reduced. Means like if you can send that bee like 3 times, you have 3 more, let's say 31.5 hours more, meaning like you get one more mission out of that bee on a daily basis, means more hxd. So that's where the value of the queen comes from. So all upgrades you do to your queen uh, will be added to the mission boost, but just the generation alone will give you such an advantage on cooldown reduction, which is like, um, which is very underrated because it is something people don't realize unless you change the queen. I felt that huge difference from when I moved from Gen Z queen to a Gen 1 queen. It just blew my mind. Like it's like I was earning like 100 HXD a day, and suddenly like when I changed to Gen 1 queen, it just flipped. Like suddenly I was earning like 170, 180 because like I was able to send all my bees 2 or 3 more times a day, and it flipped again in a huge way when I got my Genesis queen. So out of nowhere, things are always ready. It feels like it. When you compare that to Gen Z beat, that's how it feels. Like you get zero cooldown reduction for a Gen Z, and then suddenly you have 25% more. It's like it's a world of difference. So let me tell. So cooldown reduction depends only on generation. What generation queen is you use depends. decides how much cooldown reduction your bees get when they complete a mission. So that's something you have to remember. That's a fixed thing. So I've made a separate video on why you need to choose a Gen 1 queen. All right. So you might want to go watch that. Um, Personally, I don't I don't suggest doing any Gen 2 or a Gen 3 queen. It is really not worth spending any queen upgrades on these queens, because these queens does not have a good resale value. And say if I buy a Gen 1 queen for 2k HXT, like completely leveled up, or 270 plus average stats, I can use it for 18 breeds and then I can sell it for half the price. A Gen 3 or a Gen 2 queen does not, how do I put this? Like, does not make any sense to me when it comes to how much resource it takes to upgrade a queen. So I'm not a big fan of any other queen other than Gen 1 and a Genesis queen for a hive. Even for breeding, it doesn't make any sense to me. But then, like, if you're in a hurry to breed things, you find value in it, go for it. But then, like, the cooldown reduction is very bad. The mood boost is not very great. So you will see this mood boost here is like there is a number range. So it's like a Gen 1 queen, when it's hatched or bred, it is like level 10. So at level 10, it gives 20%. So what does this 20% means? Like, um, say, even if you have 280, so you should know 280 is the maximum stats any queen can have. So let's say you find a great queen completely 280 every possible stats. It's called the perfect queen, because when you breed a perfect queen by using um, a good a good queen with good base stats, and then you use a Genesis for a Gen 1 queen, and when you breed it, it's already 280 stats. Remember this: when you have 280 stats, when you breed it, there is a lot of incentive for that. When you do your upgrades to level 20, I will show you when I go to that space where I show you what upgrades to what, all the rarity difference. There is one specific upgrade. I think it's epic. Yeah, I think it's epic, uh, where it doesn't change the mood, it doesn't change the stats. You just do that. It's the most efficient way of using your queen upgrade. I will show you. I will get back to that. So coming back to this, the mood match. So the mood match, you have a range. So we'll go from bottom and then we'll go up. Okay. So there is this. So people buy a Gen 3 queen as a hive queen. It absolutely makes zero sense to me. Literally zero sense. Why would anyone buy or hatch a Gen 3 queen? It gives zero cooldown reduction, just 6 breeds, and then it's like literally trash. You cannot sell it. And if someone is buying, oh poor soul, they really don't understand what exactly they are buying. They think the queen looks cool or whatever it is. There is literally no big incentive other than a 10%, which feels very underwhelming if it is level 20. So having a Gen Z level 20 queen is better than a level 10 Gen 3 queen as Hive queen. So it's like it literally don't make any sense. Gen 2 queen, so, but then like it's still not that good. Like 8%, something is better than nothing is the kind of settlement you're going for. But currently, Gen 1 queen is the most cost efficient way to reduce your reduce the cooldown reduction for your bees. Uh, have good mood match boost for all your missions. 40% is a lot, but when you put that close to 50% with a Genesis Queen, 50% is a killer. I will give you an example. So, um, someone I know who had bought a queen for like 4,000 HXD, a level 10, all stats 180. It's the perfect queen. He bought it at for 4,000 HXD. Everything looks perfect, but then he says like it's so underwhelming, like because he's only getting 20%. So only if you upgrade that, it becomes 40%. I will give you a comparison. If you have a Genesis Queen, which is 212, but uh, but 212 level 20 is better than a Gen 1 Queen 280 stats even at level 20. If you do the math, it's mind blowing. That's why you see Genesis Queen somewhere around that 250, 260 is the average place where a normal Genesis Queen will settle after all the upgrades. So so that's the kind of comparison. So it's mind blowing. Okay. So I've still not come to the topic, which I will do. So this is the very basic thing you need to know about the queen. When you make a choice, what queen you want to make, what queen you want to purchase, this is the choice. This is the information you need for getting a queen. I think I will finish the video here and make a fresh video with starting with the queen upgrades. I think it's fair enough. I've spoken for 18 minutes. I don't know why, but I have. Let's deal with this and then move on. All right. Thank you for watching. Zub zub. I'll post the next video as soon as this one is done.